Numbers are out, and unemployment has fallen from 8.3 to 8.1% in August. U.S. employers have added 96,000 jobs last month, half of what is needed to keep up with the population growth. Of course, President Obama was hoping for some encouraging numbers, especially on the heels of the Democratic National Convention last night. Analysts say the jobs report could be fodder for Republicans to continue challenging Democrats on the economy because not as many jobs were created as expected.
The Council on Revenues downgraded its forecast for revenues for the current fiscal year by nearly 0.5%, and that means the state has about $18 to $20 million less than expected. The downgrade is being blamed on energy taxes and the large energy rebates being handed out. And joining us now with more is Dr. Carl Bonham from the University of Hawaii Economic Research Organization. Good morning, Carl. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
So let's talk about those rebates and the green tax credits. It's turning out to be, I guess, a double-edged sword for the state because they implemented this to spur people to, be more green.
And it's working. And essentially what happened in yesterday's meeting was we received new estimates for how much has already been claimed in tax credits and how much we think will be claimed in tax credits in the current fiscal year and future fiscal years. And basically it's doubling. It's doubled, more than doubled last year, and it doubled the year before. And you get up to numbers of 200 to 300 million in tax credits. Well, that's almost all the growth in the general fund. So it affects the bottom line.
And it affected the tax credits so much that even though there's been a bump in tourism in Waikiki especially, it still affected the tax credits, right?
Right.
It still affected the council's forecast.
That's right. And we actually raised our forecast of sort of what we think the overall economic growth would be for the economy and how that would affect tax revenues in this fiscal year. And then that was offset by the expected increase in tax credits, and so the forecast actually came down a little bit.
Let's look at those jobs numbers. The newest jobs report came out, and it looks like that more jobs were added, but some analysts were saying it's not as much as expected.
It's not as much as was expected, and it's not nearly enough to really get the economy moving. We're just sort of bumping along. The overall economy has slowed down. We had 96,000 jobs this month, and actually the June and July numbers were revised downward. And essentially it's just not enough. And a lot of what's going on is the same old thing. The private sector is adding 110, 115,000 jobs. The government sector's shedding jobs. And
President Obama knew these numbers when he gave his speech last night, and the Republicans are really going to jump on this in the next few months, obviously. And one thing that was interesting that we heard from the Democratic National Convention is former President Bill Clinton saying that no president could fix the damage done to the economy in 4 years. So is that true?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you could have had some kind of a miracle that occurred, but if you compare the job losses in this recession to all other recessions, it's astounding how bad, how deep the recession was. And we've been adding jobs. We've added jobs every single month for over 2 years. And it's just we fell so far that there's no way you could have gotten the job numbers back to where we were before the recession started.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how voters really react to those numbers. Dr. Carl Bonham, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And if you want to see what the economists at UHERO are tracking, you can go to their Facebook page. You can also go to KITV.com. It is 6:41. We'll be right back.